Did you know? The only thing that separates ordinary people from great achievers is the way they make decisions. Bob Proctor, one of the greatest mentors of the millionaire mindset, revealed it's not luck, it's not money, and it's not talent. It's the firm decision that changes everything. In today's video, I'm going to show you the 6 principles taught by Bob Proctor that explain how decision-making can transform your life. And at the end, I'll reveal the habit Proctor called the most powerful one for anyone who wants extraordinary results. So stick with me until the end, because maybe this could be the most important decision you make today.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
Do you know what John Kennedy did there? Made a decision. That was a decision. It was a big decision, and it changed everything forever. Well, do you know, decision is something most people never really learn.
Bob Proctor starts with a powerful example. When John F. Kennedy decided to put a man on the moon, he didn't know how it would be done. But that firm decision mobilized scientists, engineers, and an entire nation. Proctor teaches that most people never really learned how to make decisions like that. Final, no turning back, and that's exactly what separates achievers from those still waiting for the perfect conditions. If you want to change your life, the first rule is decide first. Figure out how later.
I photographed a page out of here. Napoleon Hill said, those who reach decisions promptly and definitely know what they want, and they generally get it. And he went on to explain why we have difficulty here, for very good reason. Indecision is a habit, which usually begins in youth. The habit takes on permanency as the youth goes through grade school, high school, and eventually through college without any definite purpose. The major weakness of all educational systems is they neither teach nor encourage the habit of definite decision. Now, why is that? Well, the truth is, most people really don't know.
According to Proctor, indecision is a learned habit. He quotes Napoleon Hill, saying that from childhood, we're trained to ask for permission, to wait for approval, and to fear making mistakes. The school system conditions us to overthink and underact. Result? We grow up afraid to decide, always second-guessing ourselves. But here's the secret. Every successful person reprogrammed this mindset and started deciding fast and with confidence. And you can do the same, starting today.
You see, we've got to take a look at the non-physical side of ourselves. President Lincoln put that very well. He said, to believe in the things you can see and touch is no belief at all, but to believe in the unseen is a triumph and a blessing. Well, let's look at this. Making a decision, we're going into the unseen part of ourselves, using faculties most people don't even know they've got. You see, Einstein said the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. Well, he said the rational mind is a faithful servant.
Bob explains that most people live trapped by their 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. But real power lies in the non-physical faculties of the mind: intuition, imagination, and will. The great achievers. Don't wait to see it to believe it. They create the vision in their mind first. Intuition guides, imagination builds, and will keeps focus. In other words, when you decide, you must use these invisible tools to support your decision, even when there's no outside evidence. That's how you create a new reality.
Well, we're going to be talking about the non-physical side. You see, a frequency is a level of vibration. Do you know vibration is a natural law of the universe? Everything vibrates, nothing rests. We live in an ocean of motion. Now, there's an infinite number of frequencies. You and I think on frequencies, the highest function we're capable of. Now, here's where you really want to pay attention. If you get this, if I communicate this effectively, your life can change, because it sure changed mine. We think on a frequency, and the frequency we think on dictates the results we get.
Proctor says, everything in the universe vibrates, including your thoughts. And here's the key. When you decide, you change the frequency of your mind. Want to attract more money? You need to think and feel as if you already have it. Want health? You must align your energy with the health you desire. Each new decision is like changing the station on a radio. You tune in to opportunities that were invisible before. That's why, to reach something new, you must decide and raise your frequency to match it. Without this shift, nothing happens.
If you're going to look at the unseen, you have to use the higher faculties. That's what Einstein talked about, the sacred gift. We can use faculties to look into the future. We can go into the future with our imagination and see ourselves where we want to be a year from now, and then bring that into the present and begin acting like the person we want to become.
Proctor reminds us, even Steve Jobs didn't know how Apple would become a giant when he started. And the Wright brothers had no idea how to make a plane fly, but they decided first. The secret is trust. When you make a true decision, the how starts to reveal itself step by step. Ideas show up. The right people cross your path, and opportunities appear. But it all begins with the decision and the trust to keep going, even when you can't see the end of the road. Decide and trust. The rest will come.
The will is one of the higher faculties. That's what Einstein was talking about. The will gives you the ability to focus on one thing to the exclusion of everything else. When you focus on that one thing, you're on that higher frequency. How do you do that? Well, first, you got to make a decision to go there. You see, your mind and thoughts must be focused on the same frequency as your goal. How do we do that? We make a committed decision. That's where I'm going. And when you make the committed decision, that's irrevocable. You cannot go back. You shut the past off. You begin thinking on this higher frequency, and you think and act like the person you want to become.
Finally, Bob Proctor reveals his greatest lesson. Decision must become a habit. A real decision is irrevocable. You don't go back at the first sign of trouble. Legends like Sir Edmund Hillary and the Wright brothers had this in common. They decided and saw it through to the end. When you decide and stick to it, you change your mental frequency and you start acting like the person you want to become. Make this a daily habit. Decide with clarity and never look back. That's how you build an extraordinary life. Now that you know these 6 principles, the question is, what will you decide today? Maybe it's time to listen to that inner calling and start awakening the incredible potential that's been sleeping inside you. I left a special link right below. Take a moment to check it out. It's something new, different from anything you've seen before, and it might be exactly what helps you take the first step into this new phase because the success you're looking for is already within you. All you have to do is wake it up.